welcome to ReCall The Midwife. We are a fan podcast, and every week we watch an episode and then we talk about it. Tonight we are talking about Series 12, Episode 2. I'm Becky.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jen. A reminder that this week's episode deals with a cancer diagnosis, its effects on a pregnancy, elder issues, mental health, and suicidal ideation. So if those topics are ones you would prefer to skip this time, we understand and hope you join us for the next one. In this week's episode, Sister Julienne is working with a pregnant woman who has to face a cancer diagnosis at the same time as new motherhood. Lucille is still struggling with depression and her deep longing for connection, home, and family in Jamaica. She works in the district with an older man who helps her realize what steps she has to take to heal, and everyone rallies around to support her. Meanwhile, Sheila is again taking on more responsibility, this time in running a dance school temporarily and organizing the Whitsun raffle and extravaganza. Short and sweet, but I just wanted us to get into the real meat of the episode, so I kept
This
my
episode
synopsis.
I thought was so moving,
Oh my God.
amazing, so brilliant at the same time, really sad, but my God, there were some amazing lines in this episode.
Yes, there were, and
Howlers.
I'm not going to
Howlers.
spoil anything, but all I'll say is that a fan wrote in and made a request, and I'm trying to gonna honor that request, and if OG fans will know what that means. But anyways, yes, there were some amazing lines in
Becky's
this episode.
face. Becky looks really confused.
I don't know what it is.
There are some great quotes that could be potentially pulled from this episode for some reason, and we'll just have to see what that pans out to be. But girls, when I tell you this episode had me sobbing from almost the start to the finish. The tears were flowing so many times for so many reasons. It was tugging at my heartstrings. It was, oh my gosh, the tissue box was emptied after today's episode. I was just like, man, this one is just, it was killing me. It put me through the absolute
the
ringer.
whole way through this episode. And can I say, it's not a big deal. I've had quite an emotional day, but it was nothing. Everything's fine. I'm absolutely fine. But I watched this episode before that. So I've cried most of the day.
Oh my God. Think if you hadn't watched it before, like what a wreck you would be. Gee whiz. I know. Well, I don't know where I think I'm starting to have like PMS, and so God knows like how that's gonna wreak havoc on my world next week, but as I like really get deep into it. But oof, this one did me. Bex, where should we start? What do you think? There's just so much going on, but
Should we start with Lilian Reynolds?
Yeah, with Lilian and Ronnie Reynolds. Did you recognise Ronnie Reynolds at all?
Was he Martin Fowler?
He was Martin Fowler in EastEnders. Well done.
I didn't even look that up.
Well done. Well done. Look how proud you are.
I didn't recognize him, but I liked Ronnie. I thought he was very sweet.
Yeah, he was great.
And
He was absolutely great.
What was her accent?
It was a bit
Birmingham,
brummy.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't place it.
Kettering.
There's a girl that I follow on Instagram, and she lives in Birmingham, and the way that she said some stuff made me think of her. So I was like, oh, I think that's where she's from.
So we meet Lilian at this new mother's expectant meeting thing that Sister Julienne's putting on, right, at Nonnatus house for a less formal environment. A nun's convent for a less formal environment. I'd be like really nervous and excited to go in to see what it was like. But also, that is not less formal.
Well, I think she meant less clinical. Like it's a living room versus like a, like the community center, room.
I'd rather be in the community center.
They also had a breastfeeding demonstration, but you couldn't. I know they couldn't actually show that.
There were a couple times where they were trying to hint at showing boobs today, and they didn't. They found a way around it every single time. I mean, they really did a good job.
If you were actually watching a kid doing a demonstration, they just take the oh God, it was so annoying. Just take it off all the time, and just your breasts would be fully exposed to the world.
But it did look like that was a real breastfeeding baby. It did look like the baby was really breastfeeding. Yeah. Maybe that was like actually that would kind of be a perfect job for a mom who just had a baby on the show to like bring her baby, because then the baby doesn't have to act. The baby can literally just like be with her and have a meal and then be so happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's still, you're only allowed 20 minutes on set.
I know, they had to film it fast.
Mojo wasn't happy with the TV time being interrupted, and to be fair dues to it. That is annoying. Loads of people coming in, gulping about breastfeeding. Can I just say,
Mojo was so rude this whole episode. She was like,
there were times when
spiteful.
I wanted to kill her in this episode, and there were times when she made me laugh so much. I just thought, am I bipolar? Like,
I feel like that's the tightrope that Sister Julienne is on all the time, where she's like, I love her so much, and yet I truly could murder her about three out of the 7 days of the week, every single week. Like,
yeah, 100.
Yeah, where she's just like, she's my sister, we're devoted to each other, but at the same time, she like, even did you see like when Sister Monica Joan was like, the living room is for respite activities, reading, sewing, contemplating and watching television. And Sister Julienne was just like,
Shut
can
up.
you please just give me a freaking break for once, ma'am?
There was a breastfeeding class and Lilian looked troubled and I thought, oh God, it's going to be another one of these bloody episodes where she doesn't say anything. Anyway, straight away she says to Sister Julienne outside, like, oh, I've
Well,
got
it took
a
so long to find out
painful.
what was going on with her.
Yeah, but it's also, yeah, but it did take a while to find out what actually the problem was. But actually, straight away, she was on it. When like on these episodes, and you're like, oh, for God's sake, just say something to someone. It's
I
really frustrating.
She
know.
Yeah,
did
yeah,
say something straight away.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was dead proud of her. It looked bloody painful, her boob.
Oh, I
Yeah.
felt bad for her. Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
thinks it's something associated with the pregnancy, which is why she says something. But then she comes to clinic the next day. Dr. Turner takes a look and immediately refers her
To St.
to
Cuthbert's.
St.
Yeah,
Cuthbert.
I mean, you would think it though, because obviously, if your boob didn't do that before, and then suddenly you're pregnant, like you might think it is a pregnancy symptom. Do you know what I mean? Because your body does loads of weird stuff during pregnancy, so you would think it was.
Well, I will say, as a faithful Call the Midwife watcher, although
I
you
mean,
guys,
you're a podcaster on it.
I know, and
Yeah.
the thing that's weird is this episode somehow got wiped from my brain because there was so much in
Same.
this episode where I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, this is the way this happens? Oh my God. Like when we get to talking
Same.
about some of the other stuff in the episode, I'm just gonna be like, it was blowing my mind because my memory was not kicking in for these
Same.
storylines.
Exactly the same. I don't know what the
And
hell we were going through.
oh my God. And now I'm just like, now I feel like I have to put an asterisk on so many of my past comments
Yeah, same.
because
I've got
I
questions for you after this.
totally we'll get there. But yeah,
It's all
exactly.
about Lucille, let's be honest. Carry on.
Absolutely. But the thing was is that like, okay, what I was gonna say was that as a faithful Call the Midwife watcher and podcaster, I now feel as if I have like a somewhat honorary and very, very cursory degree in midwifery. And so when Dr. Turner like was standing in the outside with Sister Julienne and she's like, well, I do think she was concerned that you referred her so quickly to St. Cuthbert's. And he's like, I know. And in my head, I was like, okay, I'm ticking off the things I think it is because we've even read the dang books. And he was like, well, but the thing is, it can't be mastitis because, she's still pregnant. And also, I want to say she has an infection, but that doesn't really make sense because even though the area is tender and red and it feels warm to the touch, she doesn't have a fever. So I was like, yes, Dr. Turner, those are all my same diagnosis. I'm as befuddled as you. Like, refer her out to the specialist. And I was like, you've done a good job there, Dr. Turner. So I felt like I was very curious what they were going to find out it was. I was afraid it was going to be what I thought it was, and it was, but then.
You know what I did like about this though? So often we see like St. Cuthbert's are all awful, and I do like the way they portray doctors to all be awful, but I did like the way that Sister Julienne and Dr. Turner were very patient-centric and were explaining things to the family and were there and amazing for them and helping them. Like it's absolutely unrealistic, but I really liked it.
Yeah. Well, it kind of was actually nice to hear Dr. Turner say, some doctors are better at talking to other doctors than they are talking to patients. And so like, let me give you this news as opposed to somebody who doesn't really know you. Yeah.
Also, I do think it's very, this is based on no knowledge whatsoever. It's very early in the
But like based on ours. Ours is full of knowledge.
Yes, we are just like a wellspring of, just amazing information.
Like I do feel like it's very early on in kind of the cancer, I was going to say journey, but do you know what I mean? It's very, there isn't all of the support that goes along with it.
Yeah,
and
100%.
So yeah, it's a very clinical diagnosis because Ronnie says that himself, like it's full of they only mentioned cancer once.
Yeah, and she went to have the mammogram and biopsy and didn't know anything about them, and no one was explaining it to her. They were just like, yeah, it'll be over in a minute. Like never like, oh, this is what we're doing because of this. And
well, and I felt for her. So like, let's just like because my synopsis really was not that in depth, but basically, so when she goes to St. Cuthbert's, she goes for like an X-ray and then a biopsy, and then Sister Julienne sees her after, and she says, like, oh, the wound is healing up quite nicely. She's like, yeah, isn't it great? Like, it's like really doing good. And she's like, and Sister Julienne is like, oh, and so she says to her, well, a biopsy is meant to diagnose and like gather more information. It's not meant to treat. And she's like, oh, really? And you could tell that
she says, oh, it's still very sore. I think she thinks it's going to have improved, but it's
not. Absolutely. And so then she says, well, and then so Sister Julian is like, well, I hope, I think it's going to be, like, she says something about being hopeful for good news or that it's, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And then she says, yeah, yeah, that's great. Me too. And the doctor is so nice. He asked me to come in this afternoon for a follow-up. And then Sister Julian is like, oh no, oh no. Because I mean, as we all know, like in medical stuff, no news actually is probably more likely to be good news, because when they call you back and they follow up,
well, they also didn't just call her in, they called him in as well.
Her and her
the
husband.
First bit, they left him in the corridor, and then this time they were like, Mrs. Reynolds, oh, Mr. Reynolds too. Like,
yeah.
Also,
oh,
can I just
God.
say something about Mr. Reynolds? He reminded me, so not in looks. My granddad did not look like a 34-year-old good-looking EastEnders actor, but my granddad used to take everything apart. He used to drive my grandma absolutely bloody mad. They got this really posh Bang& Olufsen TV, and she came home from shopping, and he had it completely all over the ground. He'd taken everything apart, put it back together. It all worked again, but then there was a few screws, they didn't know what they were. That happened with everything, like washing machines. Honestly, it was the fridge he did it with. It was the bane of her life. My grandma just used to take everything apart just to see how it worked.
What was his job?
He used to make, it's a long story, but he made, curtain siders.
I don't know what that is.
Wait, did he invent taut liners?
He did invent taut liners, yes. So, big massive trucks that have got like curtain sides.
Oh, okay.
Not like block sides, curtain sides that pull across. He invented that.
Oh, interesting.
But for a company, so he didn't get all the money for it, which is quite a shame.
Oh, because I was going to say, I wonder if he worked in some kind of like engineering or appliance repair or something like that.
And he was like really good with his hands mechanic wise. He was an amazing carpenter. He was just very.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Also, he was called Harold. And that's what Ronnie wanted to call the kid. She was like, Harold, he's not a granddad.
Also, for our listeners, when we graduated, Alex got it into her head based on nothing.
No, not based on nothing. Absolutely not based on nothing, can I just say. Every other college had Eddie Stobart as the person giving them. We were the unlucky ones who had a royal.
No, I didn't know that. I thought you just got it into your head that Eddie Stobart was going to be at the graduation ceremony.
Absolute nutter. Every other college had Eddie Stobart giving them their award.
And wait a minute, every other college at the university we went to together, or every other college in the country?
No. Every other college at our university had Eddie Stobart giving them their degrees. So I thought, my God, this is going to be amazing. Eddie Stobart, do you know about Eddie Stobart?
No, I don't.
Eddie Stobart's a haulage company, and Eddie Stobart they're all taut liners. They're all there was a taut liner named after me because of my granddad. Anyway, so he always has names the company always has names of girls on the front of the thing, and you can apply to have them done.
Oh, okay.
There was one for me, one for my cousin, all this, right? Anyway, so I was really excited thinking, oh my God, it's going to be him. And I'm going to say about my granddad and taut liners because they just have taut liners, Eddie Stobart. So I was really excited about it. And then we had Princess Alexandra.
Who's Princess Alexandra?
Exactly, Jen.
She's a minor royal.
Bex was like, this was the best day of my life. And Alex is like, I wanted the side of an 18-wheeler.
Oh my God, that's amazing. And I wanted a really obscure transport owner.
I wonder why it was different. I wonder why there was like a different...
She opened our college.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
And that's why it was Alexandra Square, because of Princess Alexandra.
Oh. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'm putting a lot together now.
Yeah, this is very niche, guys. Sorry. So anyway.
This doesn't really apply to anyone other than probably the three of us, but now you have a little window into our history together. Okay.
And also the fact that Bex just thought I was creating people to give us our degree.
Anyway.
Oh gosh. So
Lilian has cancer. Nobody gets cancer when they're pregnant. It was just so sad. And can I say she was a brilliant actress?
Well, she comes home and she's like just totally zoned. She's like, I don't even remember what he said. She's like, I can't even remember hearing him. Like, is it bad? Is it good? Help me. And her husband is just standing there like, I'm so lost as well. Like, oh, I just felt bad for them.
It's a very rare form of cancer because the doctor himself says he's only ever seen one case of it before, which just fills you full of dread.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because I don't even know if they never even said like what actual form of cancer it was, just because I thought, oh, is this a form of like breast cancer or something? But they never even say. And
I think it's
is it like inflammatory?
Well, she said because she said, oh, what are they going to cut my boob off? And she didn't say it that crudely, but like, and he says, well, no, we're not going to do a mastectomy. Like, we can't even, there's not even like a tumor to remove. Like, this is something else. You're going to have radiotherapy. And I was just like, oh no. I almost wonder if it was some kind of maybe like a blood or bone cancer or something, you know what I mean?
Well, no, I think they said it was inflammatory breast cancer.
Oh, really?
Because they said about inflammation.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't.
It just looked really painful, and I felt so bad for her.
Oh, I felt so bad.
And then Sister Julienne is basically sent by the consultant because he's like, we need this baby out before we start radiotherapy, and radiotherapy starts next Tuesday, kind of thing. So like,
but did they even say how far along she was? Because
I think she was like right near the end of a term, to be fair.
Oh, because she looks so tiny. Like her pregnancy bump looked small.
I thought she looked quite. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. So Sister Julienne had to go in and talk to her about inducing the baby. And she was like, we haven't even thought about a name. We're going to have it at home. And she was like, well, you know, they booked you in on Monday.
Yeah.
They were just really, really upset, which you can understand. Like, it's awful. And then Trixie and Sister Julienne had the most lovely, I thought it was a beautiful speech about cancer being a bully, because Sister Julienne was really struggling with this whole thing because obviously she can't control anything. She's just there breaking bad news after bad news to the poor girl. And Trixie did a really amazing speech about cancer being a bully, and I really, really appreciate that.
Well, and poor, I mean, she apologized after, which I even felt for her while she was saying it, but like Lilian was also just in the worst headspace, and she just really railed at Sister Julienne and like was so mean to her and said, you know, you've wasted your life, you gave everything up that made you a woman and all this kind of stuff. And
I didn't. I know she was going through it, but I didn't appreciate that.
Oh, I felt really bad for Sister Julienne.
Yeah,
I felt really bad for her.
Also, Sister Julienne was begging forgiveness. I was a bit like, what have you done that's so bad? Like, do you know what I mean? I didn't really see anything that Sister Julienne had done. Oh, we haven't even spoken about the fact that she actually did get to have the baby at home.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah, so she's really upset because she wanted to have a home birth, and she's going to have to go into hospital to be induced. But actually, then the baby just comes. I mean, it's probably the stress of it all.
Yeah.
She goes into labour, and Trixie's with her when she thinks she's having practice contractions, but Trixie phones Sister Julienne and they decide between them that they're just going to give her the home birth that she wants.
Yeah, which I think is the right decision.
So compassionate.
Yeah,
because the only reason to go into hospital surely is just for the mechanics of being induced.
Yeah.
So actually, the fact that she's gone into labour at home,
it's getting that problem out of the way. Like, it's getting a bed free, really, because there's no reason why she has to be in hospital for the delivery. It's just to get her ready. They want the baby out for the radiotherapy to start. So she has a little girl.
It is the cutest baby.
It's really cute. But then the dad's like, Ronnie's like, oh, I can't think of a better name than Lilian. And she's like, I can. I'm not. My mum was a Lilian. I was a Lilian. My grandma was a Lilian. And he's like, and then she's like, put Lilian in the middle where she won't lose it. So Andrea Lilian Reynolds.
Oh, that was so sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, then she's Sister Julienne's obviously trying to stop any milk flow and stuff because she has to, because the consultant's told her to. And it's just like this really awkward thing, really. And then they have that big chat about like, why is God punishing me? I've never lived a virtuous life and all that. Now then, right, and I know this is awful, and I'm gonna have to say it, right? So there's this really depressing montage by Cliff Richard doing To All My Love. It's just an awful song anyway, right? And it's like Ronnie learning about babies, Lilian going through radiotherapy. It's a really depressing, horrible thing, right? And then Lilian feels as though Ronnie's taken over. But then she shows this picture of her doing the splits, right? It's black and white. Now, in that picture, she's not doing the splits. And I'm like, that's just a picture of you not doing the splits, Lilian. Like... And I know that's not the sentiment that's supposed to be there, but I was like, "You're not doing that." If I was this, she's just doing
kind of a gymnastic stretch, you know, like with her team of other people. Yeah.
Maybe she was going into a split.
Well, also this is
but even then, I'd just be like, "That's just a picture of you not doing the splits."
It looks like she's just doing a lunge, basically. Like that's what it looks like, and it's one of those moments where you're like, "Well, I mean, even I could do that, and I'm in the most like bad shape of a human being ever could be in ever." So like that's really not that impressive. But the other thing was,
I don't know. I tried to climb a wall this weekend then.
Oh my God, it was comical.
You know, Alex, well, actually, maybe all three of us we all need to do the Canadian Air Force thing together.
Guys, I'm starting it very soon.
When are you cleared to start?
I've started on the treadmill already. I'm going to do a few more runs, and then I think I'm good to go. I'll let you know.
Did your PT sign off on it?
Yeah.
Okay. And and so you're on the treadmill like at the gym?
No, we've got a treadmill at the house.
Oh, lucky duck. Yeah. Well, so just to say on this similar note, like to bring some like brevity to this very, very sad storyline that I absolutely feel so sad about.
Levity.
The other thing that makes me laugh is like when she says like, oh, she's like, Sister Julienne, she's like, is God punishing me? I've never lived a virtuous life. I've never been a virtuous person. I'm like, tell me more. What did you do?
That's what I was thinking.
What did you do? Because she kind of makes it sound like her and Ronnie, had like a little bit like an illicit, kind of thing.
But she worked at a holiday park.
And I just was like, were you a huge
Yeah.
slag? Like, did you just, I don't listen, I'm for it. I'm, like,
Well, she
do
did
whatever
actually
you want to
say
do.
that she wasn't. She did actually say before she wasn't an entertainer like that.
Right, not
I
like
think
that, but I think she was I think she had, a lot of fun times, let's say.
When you picture holiday park, you need to picture the holiday park out of Dirty Dancing.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, maybe she found a
it's the right
Patrick
time. Well, it's a
Swayze
bit
while
later.
she was.
So anyway, Lilian started getting into the groove of it. She was having a horrible. No, she didn't actually. She was getting into the groove of the actual treatment, but not really. She felt very disconnected because she felt like that Ronnie was taking over and blah blah blah. Right now, this annoyed me as well. I'm sorry, but the baby was crying. Right, so Ronnie called Sister Julienne. Right, and let's be honest. Right, that is the most unrealistic thing ever. If the baby was crying for that long, there's not a cat's chance in hell he wouldn't have been like, "Help me! I don't know what I'm doing, Lilian. Please help me."
Well, no. He says to her when she gets there, she's like, "I've asked Lilian, but she won't come out of her room."
As if he didn't try her properly, though. Do you know what I mean? If he didn't just throw that baby in like a grenade and close the door. It would last 3 bloody minutes.
So because we've seen storylines before where something happens where the mother's not able, and then the man just literally ships the baby or the child off to like an aunt or something.
Yes.
But we can't forget Trixie's speech, because he says, like, what, like, I don't know what to do. Like, it's not like for a man to raise a baby. And Trixie's like, well, actually it is. And you're going to do a great job. And it's time for you to like stand up and, pitch
also,
in for your wife and everything.
He did show he was trying to work out and understand things. So he did like to know about stuff and try and understand.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. I didn't even think she was talking about Matthew at the time, but now I'm sure that's who she was talking about. Oh, Jennifer. I was slow on the uptake on that one. No duh. But anyways.
But yeah,
so she's like, men do it all the time.
We don't actually know what happened here, but I'm hoping that this rare form of cancer was completely solved and the Reynolds all carried on.
Here's hoping.
I mean, fingers crossed, but
that wasn't what they were indicating was going to happen. But I mean, I want it to, like,
and listen, that today, guys.
Why not just say that that's what happened? Yeah.
Also, really quick, I didn't actually finish the story about me assaulting my daughter on a wall this weekend. So just really quick, Jen, we went grommeting. We tried to find some grommets. It's a long story. And anyway,
no, you need to explain that.
What's grommeting?
I said at work I was going grommeting, and everyone was like, "That sounds a little bit." So the Bristol Children's Hospital, Wallace and Gromit. They do this Gromit Unleashed tour. So there's basically statues all around Bristol of Wallace and Gromit and Feathers McGraw.
Okay.
And Norbert.
And there's a trail and you can kind of go around and find them.
They're all painted and designed by famous artists, but it's all, you go and find them around the city. And it's like a charity and it's this great thing. So we went down. Me and Bobs went down and did it with Becky and their niece and nephew. And it was amazing fun, right? But at one point we had to climb over this little wall. Well, climbing over it
was like, firstly we need to set the scene, because it was like Challenge Annika. We were trying to find parking spaces.
Yeah, it was hard.
We didn't have long, so we had to be in a rush to find the statue, get our picture, get back to the car. It was literally, how big was the wall? 18 inches.
Yeah, but from one side it was 18 inches, but from the other side it was much. So when I got over it okay, but from the other side I couldn't get my leg up, because obviously I've had the surgery, but I'm still not 100%. So I couldn't.
We're all over the wall now.
Alex, you know what? Listen, I wouldn't be able to do it. I haven't had any surgery. I mean, I'm sure I would have just been like, oh, and then chickened out.
So I thought, I know what I'll do. Bob's is like, I'll hold you. Bless her little heart. She was like, I thought, you cannot carry my weight, mate. So
Bob said, I'll hold you.
Bob went to try and help her and pull her. Alex grabbed onto the door handle of the car
door handle, but didn't realise I'd unlocked it.
To pull herself, but she'd unlocked it. So she essentially opened the door and whacked it into Bob's.
And she cried, and I felt really bad, and I didn't mean to do it.
Oh, that's going to be a story you'll tell so many times in this life. You will.
Still brings it up. Yeah. So
you'll talk about that for ages.
Yeah, she's brought it up again. Of course she has. Anyway, she won't today after Zach.
If it makes you feel any better, this is like the reverse of that. But when we were growing up, my family and I went on we were on a vacation, and one of the things we did on this vacation, and I want to say I was maybe like 10 or like 11, maybe between 10 and 12, and my sister was 3 years younger than me, so whatever, like that age is. Well, we went to mini golf, putt golf, right? Love that. And so we're at this hole at the putt golf, and you all know what putt golf is, right?
Yeah, crazy golf.
Okay, yeah. So the amount of energy that you have to put into any swing is low, okay, very low, and that's important for the story. So my sister gets up to putt, and we're like all standing around, but like kind of in different spots. Like my dad's over here, I'm over there, and my mom is kind of behind my sister in a certain way. My mom's wearing these glasses, and my sister takes her golf club and she swings it, but she gets so excited and she swings it all the way back around her head and she clubs my mother in the face.
It's so bad.
And like literally, she would have really hurt my mom if my mom wasn't wearing these glasses. And she immediately felt so bad, and she was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" And it like knocked the lenses out of the glass. They didn't break though. That was kind of what was amazing. And my mom was just more like stunned than anything else. But literally, like we've told that story in our family so many times, and it's just become this kind of like legendary story about like just this like kooky thing that we did when we were like on vacation as kids and stuff. So I'm just telling you now, like remember this because it will cause so much joy.
Again. If you go golfing with your
Yes.
sister again, you've always got to be like, watch out.
I know. Well, literally ever since that, like for so long after that trip, we would always make a point of like no one could stand anywhere near my sister because we were always like, "You're gonna hit her," you know. So we would make fun of it. But anyways,
Sorry,
yeah.
back to the episode. I just want to talk about one scene really quick.
Yeah.
Dr. Turner, right, with the kids, he's like, "Oh, hands up if everyone remember their PE kit," as if he'd bloody know it was PE. Do you know what I mean?
He probably just heard Sheila say about it.
Oh, annoyed me. Right, what should we talk about next? Should we talk about the maypole dance, or should we talk about Mr. Woodley and Lucille?
Let's talk about Lucille last. I vote for that.
Yeah, so
They spoke about
Nadine, who's
Elizabeth's mum.
Yeah, but who's now had a ruptured
ovary. Yeah, it doesn't
Did
sound
that
nice,
mean
does
that
it?
but she's not trying to have another baby, right?
No, it's just she's got a
Oh,
ruptured
it's just a
ovary.
medical thing
I
that
say
happened to her.
just,
Okay.
it's only a ruptured ovary.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. Just a whole part of her body that burst open, alien style.
So she's in hospital for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her dance school, she's in charge of the dance school, so she's been doing the maypole. Do you know about maypole dances, by the way? Have we spoken about it on air before? I'm sure we have.
I do know about them. Yeah. I don't think we do them that much in the States, but I'm sure they do them in places. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over villages here. Do you have them, Bex, near you?
No. I mean, I'm sure they do, but I'm not aware of
You've
them.
never done it, yeah.
No.
Cyril being put in charge of the maypole. I mean, he's so much better natured than me, says me, who's just, done loads of stuff for PTA and just carried on doing it. Also, Nancy buying Colette a posh dress. Nothing more was held of this, but let's put a pin in this because,
Yes.
yeah.
Guys, Nancy was like basically not in my episode at all.
I mean, she was in no one's.
I felt like with this episode, they got about 3/4 of the way through, and then they were like, "Oh shoot, we haven't written anything with Nancy and Trixie in it." And then they were like, "Oh crap, okay, well here, put them in
He
this, put them
was
in this."
in the scene where they were practicing the maypole dance, which is one of my favourite scenes I've ever seen ever. Because Dr. Turner walks into the maypole rehearsal, right? And he's like, "What's going on?" And Miss Higgins is like, "Don't interrupt." Absolutely killed me. I can't tell you how much I admired that. And I thought,
my gosh.
Yes, Miss Higgins, I love you so much. And then
Well,
Nancy
he was
with
really
Lowell's being
putting-
like, "Let's learn the twist instead."
Oh my God, yeah. And he was really putting his foot in it too, because when Lillian's husband came by, he was like, "Oh my God, this is really bad." Like he didn't realize he was there, and then Miss Higgins was like, and he was like, "Oh, this is terrible. This is just terrible." And she was like, "Can you shut up?" Like he's right there,
Do you know what else
And
I
then-
really love? So
Yeah.
Fred and Mojo are in the church hall and they're waiting for Sheila to come.
Yep.
And Fred's like, well, she's probably like, she's probably stuck with a patient or whatever, because obviously, babies, these things happen.
Yeah.
And then he said to Mojo, "I hope she hurries up because it's like being stuck inside a migraine."
First of all,
that's one of the spoiler alert. That's gonna be a clue later on, you guys.
Sheila has tried to teach at Nonnatus house, so she's got all of the nuns involved. So she's tried to teach everybody the dance so that she can then teach it to the children.
And she got Mojo to be the maypole.
Yeah, so Mojo was the maypole. She's assigned everybody letters A and B, so she's trying to teach them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That just sets the scene. Cut to the class where you've now got the children involved. Sheila's not turned up because she's been stuck at work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to Sheila then arrives late.
Yeah.
And Mojo knows how to dance the maypole. Is that what you call it? Dance the maypole? Maypole
I don't
dance.
know, but I've put as if Mojo knew the bloody maypole dance.
Of
What
course
a cow.
she would know it. What? Of course she would know it, Alex. She's had 80 Maydays.
True. But also,
Probably more than
how
that,
did she
honestly.
say anything? It's like, you admitted to inquire. I'd have uppercutted her there and then, no matter if she's 80.
I mean,
Well,
she was
I'm
so
a bit
annoying
on
this
Mojo's
whole
side of
episode.
it. She's
You're
just
on Mojo's
overlooked.
side.
Yeah.
Why?
In what way?
It was part of the
Because
class.
it's not as if Sheila's always welcoming of input from people.
Yeah, but that's just petulant, not saying, oh, I know how to do it, actually. I'll help you.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I was a little
Well,
bit on Mojo's side. I
well, you're
also
wrong.
loved when, are we going to get onto this? They're short-staffed at the clinic.
Go on.
What was that storyline?
Oh, with the phone.
Yeah, and she just answers the phone. Apologies if you can hear me turning pages. And she says, "This is Nonnatus house. There is no one here to attend to you."
Lol.
And then she just hangs up.
Wait,
It was
Mojo
just-
says that?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
amazing.
Oh,
So it
I
was the
didn't have
new
that
phone
scene.
line they've put in for Sister Veronica, and she's never bloody there.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
So Nurse
And
Crane was already
Phyllis-
annoyed at it ringing.
Phyllis refused to let Nancy answer it 'cause she was like, "No, that is not your job." So Mojo did it just to shut the phone up.
And it was a howler. It was an absolute howler. Just back to the maypole thing as well. Do you know what else really annoyed me? So this is after loads of stuff had kicked off for poor Cyril. And like him and this extra we've never seen before had the maypole, and they were like trying to put it in the middle of like the ground in front of
Oh my
Nonnatus
God,
house.
yes.
And she's
yes,
like, oh, it
yes.
needs more ballast at the base. Then you must get that organised. As if Cyril doesn't have anything else going on. Although they did smash the dance, to be fair. They absolutely smashed the maypole dance.
Uh-huh.
And Colette's dress, can I just say, was awful.
Well, to set the scene, Colette was going to borrow a party dress off. Was she borrowing it off
Angela?
May or Angela?
Yeah.
One of them.
She's
But-
both of them, isn't she?
Nancy
I was gonna
like,
say, wait a minute, aren't those girls? Oh, anyway, but yeah.
yeah, but Nancy has gone to a posh boutique and bought her a dress, which I can understand, but it's, yeah.
Well,
she
as we all famously know, Nancy is really not that great with money, so
Well,
I
put
said
a
what
pin
I
in that.
said. Sorry.
Something else that was amazing was not Nurse Crane, Sheila was going around looking for prizes for the raffle. And Sister Monica Joan was like, I have often had cause to wish we lived in a less godly society because wherever there is altruism, there is invariably a raffle. And I thought, amen, sister, with the PGA. But also, I really like the fact that Mojo tried to give away all the marmalade, which did annoy Sister Veronica, but then promptly won it all back. So, that's karma for you.
I was gonna say karma's a bitch. Sorry, I know that's explicit content on our podcast. We don't usually talk like that. But because the thing is, I'm not at this stage the biggest Sister Veronica fan, and she made like 45 pounds of marmalade, and everyone was like, "Please, please, please, for the love of God, just stop! Like we can't eat any more of this." At the beginning of the episode, but then then Sheila comes, and Sister Monica Joan is like, "Oh, wait a minute, hold on, I know what I can do." She's basically like, "I'm just gonna rummage through the cupboards and find something I can give you." And so she goes and starts looking, and that's what she finds. And I thought she was going to give like a few jars or something, maybe a little trio of, because she did like grapefruit, lemon, something, whatever like that. But no, she gives this chick the whole shelf, all of it, because Sister Veronica then later in the episode is like, oh, I need some more marmalade, because she's eating it too, like to be fair to her. And she opens the cupboard door, there's none. And she's like, wait, what? What happened? There were like literally 25 jars of marmalade in here. Well, then fast forward to the maypole scene, and she lifts up the gingham cloth on the basket, and she sees all the marmalade there. And her face, she looks so sad. And she was like, they gave it all away because they don't want it. And she didn't know who did it. But at the same time, you could tell she was like, I think I could probably guess who did it. And then Sister Monica Joan, wins it all back. And again, I forgot what was going to happen. So I was like, is she going to, because Sister Veronica really looked upset. Like she really she had her feelings hurt. And I felt really bad about it. And then she wins it all back. And then Sister Veronica is like, yeah. Like she's like, all right, you got your own back, girl. And I was like, yes, Sister Monica Joan, that is God's divine intervention. I'll tell you that much right now.
Isn't it just? Now, on God's divine intervention, shall we talk about Lucille?
Oh,
Lucille is just, you can see at the start of the episode, she's just sinking, isn't she?
The whole episode, she just looks like she's going to burst into tears every single scene. Every single scene.
Really well acted, can I just say as well.
She did a great job.
So for the actual Lucille bit, I've got two different bits because obviously we've got the storyline with Mr. Woodley.
Yeah.
But then also we've got the storyline with her and Cyril at home. And then it kind of merged into one at the end. But should we talk about the one with Mr. Woodley first, or?
Yeah, because I think then it goes past Mr. Woodley.
Yeah,
I agree.
So Nurse Crane, so she's very sad. She was in early though, at first. And Nurse Crane was basically trying to connect with Lucille because she can tell that she's just very, very sad still. But then she was saying about she's got this customer for her, not customer, customer's not patient for her, called Tommy Woodley, and she was basically saying, try and get him to trust him, trust you. Do you know what I mean? Like he needs to trust you, and he's got some sight issues, and he's very old, and he's hurt, he's fallen and hurt his hand, so he needs some.
She said he was born in 1889.
I know.
Which like really gave me like sticker shock, but then I was like, okay, so at this point in time, he's going to be like in his like mid to late 70s, but still, I was like, oh my God, 1889, like like it really.
Also, I thought he was going to be a big racist,
but he wasn't.
No. I thought he was. I think she was when she found out that he was a former docker. I thought since she was a bit wary of him.
Yeah, but I think she's just a bit wary of everyone at the moment.
He wasn't racist, but he also did refer to her as his little foreign nurse.
Which is actually terrible.
I know, but on the spectrum, like, he's technically not wrong. Like, I mean, she is from Jamaica. Like,
he was happy. He was happy about it being his little foreign nurse, to be fair.
Well, he said it really affectionately. I mean, the thing is, yes, she does have British citizenship with the but I mean she is from Jamaica, so it wasn't. To me, I felt like he didn't say anything that was.
He wasn't saying it horribly.
Yeah, no, and I think he was a tonic to her because she is obviously really feeling at the moment that she's far from home, and he says he doesn't have family. Turns out he has a lot of family,
like tons, like literally the most family anyone has ever had. Like
3 daughters, like 1 billion granddaughters, like they're coming in every minute to care for him.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 generations basically ready to help him out.
But Poplar is his home, and he feels that he can't leave his home.
Also, next, where do you think he's sending the biscuits from? And he pays for his cold-tap milk, his grandson.
Fortnum and Mason's.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
The superior biscuits?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Although when he said he couldn't dip chocolate in his tea, I thought, what are you on about, mate?
I know, I thought that's not a barrier.
I like licking the chocolate off it. What are you on about, mate? That's the best part. Get a grip.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so his sight's worse than he's kind of made out as well because he can't describe Lucille.
It's bad. It's like literally they do the whole visit, and then at the end she's like, he says something about my eyesight, and then she says, okay, wait a minute, hold on. And then so she stands in front of him and she's like, can you describe me? And he's like, you're a woman and you've got on a nurse's outfit, and I think you're from somewhere other than Poplar because of your accent. And she's like, oh, you can't see me at all.
Part of her was also, I think, a bit relieved that he didn't know she was black. I think
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah.
And I think that kind of brought her a bit of relief because she was so up for an argument I think she's so exhausted from the fight. I think she was a bit like, actually, this is actually a bit of a relief that I don't have to even talk about the issue there.
Wait a minute, what fight are you talking about? The one from last week?
Well, yeah, just like she's felt the racism for a while. Then this whole situation's happened with Enoch Powell, and people are feeling more emboldened and saying more things.
Right.
Right. Where we're talking about how their friends left and gone to Brixton, they're like safety in numbers, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, all of that. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Now, the other thing is, when she walks back to Mr. Woodley, she was like, oh, and he's like, here she is, bright and breezy. And then he's like, oh, you don't sound it. No, she's like, here I come, bright and breezy. And he was like, oh, you don't sound it. And she was obviously trying her hardest.
Do we need to give a bit of context? So Cyril, in an attempt to help Lucille, has booked a phone call. Why has he booked a phone call? Then I thought they've got to go somewhere to make this phone call.
Yeah.
Maybe they've had to book it at the other end so that they're at the local, I don't know, maybe they don't have phones in every household in Jamaica. Maybe they've got to be somewhere. But it made it seem as if...
Well, maybe it's not like... Maybe you couldn't ring without international without actually... having an appointment in those days.
I also wonder if when he says I booked a phone call that he like called her family, talked to her mom and said, Lucille really needs to talk to you. Can we like arrange a day and time to speak, since just calling on the fly, we don't really have the ability to do that. And like, you know what I mean? And it wasn't, or like he sent a telegram or something. Like I don't think it's, I think we might be overthinking it just a little bit.
But also she was like, it's not Christmas or someone's birthday. And I quite like the fact that she was like proper like giddy about it. But then
he was like, you need this. He's like, this is really important. You need this. Yeah. And I was just like, he's really trying hard in this episode. Like last week, I know I gave him, he wasn't getting it, but this week he is so getting it, like the most getting it you can get,
But then
she finds out that her sister's pregnant.
Yeah. And Lucille's trying to be happy for her and acts happy on the phone.
Well,
That's not easy though, when it's something that Lucille desperate and has had and lost and desperately wants.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing. Like you see lots of Instagram posts on it and stuff like this where people are trying to conceive or having trouble, or one of our friends had it. And like, if you've not gone through it, I feel like I can't relate. Not in a way I don't want to relate. I do want to relate, but I can't relate because it hasn't happened to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think it must be so sad. There's so many complicated feelings. She probably wants to be happy for her sister, and she should be. And she probably feels annoyed that she isn't. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of complicated feelings there.
Well, I think she is happy. I mean, and I'm not saying I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think she is happy for her sister, but it also immediately is like, like stabbing her in terms of her own situation. But here's what I thought about, like, when I was watching that, because I feel for her, and I'm not, this is no way in any way to say that, it's like, I totally get her situation and her feeling, and the miscarriage was very, very, very sad. And I am not minimizing that at all. But I don't think that there's as yet any infertility issue. It's just that she hasn't happened to fall pregnant again since she had the miscarriage. So am I wrong?
No, but it is something that she's trying, and she's had a couple of months go by where she's not got pregnant. So
I think it's more than a couple as well. I think a few now.
Yeah, just because it's not infertility, diagnosed infertility, that doesn't make, I don't think that necessarily makes it easy.
On this thought, really quick, because we all know she's going to Jamaica, right? This, like, I don't know why we're beating around. We know it's happening.
Yeah.
What gets me here is when she goes back, her sister is going to be pregnant. She's going to be watching her sister through that journey. And I'm like, I actually thought, like, why would she want to go there while that's happening and something? And also, let's bear it in mind, well, she's not seeing Cyril. It ain't going to happen while she's there, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I agree with you. I 100% agree. I mean, that's kind of my issue, is like, because I mean, in the phone call scene, she finds out and she immediately like turns away from him, and then he catches on, I think, pretty quickly that she's upset. And so he says, like, praise Jesus, like, the baby and all that kind of stuff. And so she's like, oh, and then immediately when she hangs up the phone, she goes into the bedroom and closes the door in his face, and he's like, Lucille, like, listen, I know you're upset, but we're gonna have this kind of good news soon. Like, we just have to give it time, which he's probably right. Again, I'm not minimizing any of her feelings in the current moment, but there is still a lot of hope that she's gonna be able to have a baby with him, like, if they keep going, and trying and everything. Like, I just, so anyway, I don't know, two things can be true anyway, is all I'm saying.
So she's being all like, she goes into Tommy and she's like, oh, bright and breezy, right? So that's the context behind it. So she's got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and he's like, oh, you don't sound it. And I think she's a bit like confronted by that, because she's like really trying to harvest. She's thinking, oh, he can't see me, and I'm really trying to act bright and breezy, but it's not really coming across. Do you know what I mean? I think she was correct. But then he's like, oh, open the curtains, and she's like, they are open. So you can't see anything. So she gets Dr. Turner, and Dr. Turner sends for an ambulance. And this is where he says about, he needs to be where I belong. Even if I can't see home, I can smell it. And that really, really spoke to Lucille, who's already going through it. I just think it's so
hit her
sad.
like a ton of bricks. Yeah, absolutely.
So then Lucille goes to take some Mary biscuits to Tommy Woodley. Now, I've never had a Mary biscuit. Have you, Bex?
No. But she doesn't say.
I think they're basically like a rich tea biscuit, you guys. I don't think they're that
I love a rich tea biscuit. What do you mean that's special? They're the best.
Didn't she pronounce it Mari biscuits?
Oh, see, I wrote Mary because that's how
it's spelled. It's spelled Marie, like Marie, but they're called Mari biscuits. Yeah.
Can I just say, Jen, a big apology to you. It's a type of biscuit similar to a rich tea. But it's the way you were like, they're not special. They're like rich tea.
That's like,
and I'm like, no. They are very special.
That's like saying, okay, everyone can have whatever they like, but that's like saying vanilla is the most special ice cream. I'm sorry.
You know, my granddad, who invented the toilet liner, after every lunch and every tea, he had one scoop of vanilla ice cream after every meal.
He loved it that much. Well, to him, it was special then, absolutely.
And rich tea is special to me.
What I don't understand is, though, because it seems as if they're not a UK-based thing, but for him, they were like a plain everyday biscuit.
Yeah, he just wanted like a workman's biscuit, like a biscuit that just gets the job done. You know what I mean? Like no frills, just the most basic biscuit.
But why didn't he ask for a rich tea?
Well, there must have been a thing.
There must have been some reason why Mari
I
biscuits
mean,
were
let's be
his
honest,
favorite biscuit.
Heidi Thomas wouldn't use a biscuit that was never sold in London in 1960. Do you know what I mean?
But think, okay, girls, listen, okay. And for anyone who's been in the UK, they are, I mean, not even in the UK, these are, okay, let me just say this, like a hobnob and a digestive are not that different from each other. They are very similar
Very
type of
Very
food.
different.
oaty. One is
They,
very oaty.
if you one is more crunchy and oaty, yes, but functionally they overlap a lot. Like the Venn diagram of those two biscuits, there is a large section in the middle of where they overlap. And to me,
Only,
like,
I would say only in shape.
no, not only in shape. They're so similar. A
They're not
digest
Similar.
they are.
Say you're American without saying you're American.
Oh my God. You guys. There's a
You're
there
attacking
are
our culture.
oh God.
Jen, those are so different.
You guys.
I love how this whole really serious storyline's happening and we're bloody talking about biscuits and falling out.
Anyways, he's got the biscuits, and then that's when he's like, "Well, I can't wait to go home again." She's like, "Oh, when is that?" And he's like, "I really don't know, but I can't." And then does she come back again?
Yeah, because
And
his
that's when
family's there. And
yeah, and
his granddaughter's there. She's like, oh, my mum's just gone for a cup of tea. Hold Nicole for a minute. And then Lucille's holding this baby and just
and she
tears
starts
and
up.
crying.
the silent tear. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that was really heartbreaking,
And then
honestly.
she bloody went by a very busy road, very, very distressed. And I thought, oh my Christ.
also, it's the first time we've ever encountered traffic in Poplar.
Well, yeah. Well,
I
that's
don't
Pierce
want
and
to make
Cuthbert.
light of that moment because it was very serious.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I get what you're saying.
But at the same time,
Like
But yeah,
traffic that like could have harmed someone and wasn't just going like 3 miles an hour like around the
now,
street. Yeah, exactly.
what was your thoughts on Nurse Crane going to have a meeting with Mrs. Wallace? And she was like, we
I w
both know why we're here, Mrs. Wallace.
I was pro this.
I was also pro it, but I would also have liked to have seen Cyril included in this meeting, somewhere off home turf, kind of all three of them trying to like have a plan. So to like in a cafe together, so at least he was in on it too.
Well,
no,
okay,
because
go ahead.
because would Lucille have taken that as a betrayal?
Well, she wouldn't have known about it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, she might have found out.
Well, she took it hard anyway when they did actually start talking to her and she came in and she was like the Holy Spirit, da 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 da. I mean,
That's
the
what I'm
thing is
saying. If they'd have done it not in the house, he could have had that conversation with her, and they could have all had a plan without her being knowing about them talking about behind her back. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, the thing is, like, I think, however I mean, however they had, or, I mean, even if they had been sitting at the table in the house and hadn't had the conversation that she walked in on, but they still presented kind of a united front about bringing your faith into the conversation and, like leaning on that as a comfort and da 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 da. I mean, Lucille was not really in a place where she was going to hear that, I don't think.
Yeah. Also, the meeting with Nurse Crane and Mrs. Wallace didn't offend me. I was about to say offended me. It didn't offend me. I don't know why I was going to use that word. It annoyed me a little because she was like, she needs some help. And then Mrs. Wallace was like, church is the answer, basically. And Nurse Crane was a bit like, yeah. And I was like, what? No, it's not the answer. She's got clinical depression, or as it turns out, she was having a nervous breakdown. But you know what I mean? Like, I was a bit like, that's not the answer. That's not the only answer. That like she needs some as a woman of medicine. Do you know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah,
see.
for Mrs. Wallace, yeah, that was the answer. But I
Yeah,
think for Phyllis,
yeah,
perhaps, yeah.
But the thing is, it's not the only answer, but I think the reason why Phyllis got her there was because she was looking to Mrs. Wallace to make a faith-based appeal to
yeah,
Lucille.
yeah, yeah, 100%. But at the same time, I wish she was a bit like, well, it's not just faith. She also needs medical
I think
assistance.
she's coming at it though from all angles.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah, and
I think
it's
that's
not
right.
mean-spirited.
I think they're all very concerned and like a lot, and nobody really knows like what to do in a way, and yet they know all these different things to do, and they're kind of like, well, what can we try first? And I think I'll say this, I agree that faith, like you need a medical intervention, but I think a lot of people, and this makes total sense, they want to try other things before they go straight to a
Yeah,
medication or a psychiatric intervention. And so in an effort to just maybe see if that could, because I mean, the thing is, Phyllis is like, I've tried all these other things and nothing is working, nothing is helping. She's still really
yeah,
in a bad place. And so I think Phyllis's thing is like, okay, well, there's this like an escalation scale that we're all trying to, think of here. I mean, that's even Cyril. It's like, oh, I'm going to book the phone call, thinking that will kind of lift her spirits, and then it
yeah.
doesn't. I think everyone's kind of trying to incrementally address this issue to see if that's going to ultimately alleviate her situation. And it turns out this is like way beyond. And part of it is Lucille lets it get way beyond. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but
she
also a nervous breakdown is, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, she does have a nervous breakdown, but I mean, I don't think what Lucille is going now, and let me just be very clear before I say this. It's this is not about like, oh, she chose to go down this path and this is like an active thing that you make a decision like I'm gonna go this far. I'm not saying that at all. But I do think that there are times where people can kind of fall into things, but then kind of allow, like kind of sink into harder times, and she is in one of those kind of ruts. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, there's no fault, there's no blame, but
Well, I want to talk about this after, but just really quick.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Cyril, Mrs. Wallace and Cyril were talking. We've just kind of touched on this, but I just want to say, and they're talking about her, and Lucille kind of storms in, saying that the Holy Spirit has failed to make her feel welcome, has failed to put a baby in her body, and then she kind of takes to her bed again. And then Cyril's trying his hardest to like kind of like get her to think about the good times, which is what we're basically saying, like to try and jolt her out of it. Oh God, it was so sad. It was really romantic as well, though. They were talking about like the first date and stuff, and I just thought, no married couple talks like this. Just like no. But she's like, but he's like, she says she's going to go to the doctor the next morning, which I was like really excited about, and then it was Dr.
That
Turner.
I thought was great. Honestly,
I did
that
as
to
well,
me,
but
I
then I
was
was
really
like,
grateful.
but it was Dr. Turner. Like and not that I'm not glad it was Dr. Turner, but I just thought, do you know what? Because she knows him so well, this could have happened earlier.
And Miss Higgins is demonstrating how annoying, apologies to any listeners who are doctor's receptionists, where you ring to make a doctor's appointment and you have to tell the receptionist what's wrong.
Is it like that in America, Jen?
I mean, you could be asked like the purpose of your visit, but you don't have, I mean, you don't have to tell them all the gory
See, ours
details.
are like, no offense again, ours are like rabid dogs. It's like Cerberus getting through a hotel receptionist. Hotel?
It's like you've
No,
got to
not
make
hotel,
it,
doctor's receptionist.
you've got to make it something like, are they going to let you have an appointment? Do they think it's worthy of an appointment?
And it's like, you're not medically fucking trained. And they're like, yeah, so I've got that. And you're like worried. And they're telling you, oh no, that'll be a bloody whatever. And you're like, what? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they say, yeah, we'll just get a nurse to give you a call back. That doesn't need a doctor.
Yeah. And you're like, you don't, I want to see a doctor.
Yeah. Well, wait,
Anyway,
do you guys often see like an actual doctor, or do you see like a nurse practitioner or like a physician's assistant or something like that?
well, I can't tell you the last time I went. I have seen yeah, you see doctors, but a lot of the times if it's like they try and give you nurses quite a lot, don't they?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
happens
I
here
mean,
too. I
one
almost
pos
never see like an actual MD. Like I usually see like a physician's assistant or a nurse
Yeah,
practitioner,
as a
somebody that's like,
GP,
especially if it's something like more minor, you know what I mean?
we do see Dr. Turners.
yeah. I
I
mean,
I
it
will,
is,
yeah, I will see a doctor from time to time, but
and actually, one positive that came of COVID is you do get a lot of telephone appointments now because you don't always need to actually go in and show them a
Yeah,
rash or something. Not that I've had a rash, but
she's covered in rashes, girls. I saw her this
I
weekend. I
will
was like,
say,
oh God, there's no Becky, it's just rash.
oh God, I will say I was very glad, and again, this is in no way a critical comment, but I was glad that Lucille finally kind of recognized in herself the seriousness of what she was going through
Yeah.
and sought to do something interventive on her own to
And
try to
Dr.
deal with
Turner
it.
was brilliant because he was like,
He
I know the way
was.
through these woods, Lucille, because we know he's gone through a nervous breakdown.
Yes,
And he
absolutely.
prescribed Valium, and then they actually used the term nervous breakdown. And I was like, again, I don't know where I was because I was like, nervous breakdown. Like I'd never heard it before. I've watched this bloody before. What's
I
wrong
know,
with me?
but I just a lot of this like honestly, I just forgot a lot of this for some reason. I don't know why.
You know
It just
why? I
went out
think
of my
because about two
brain.
years ago, we started rewatching from the start and we'd already rewatched and rewatched and rewatched all the other series. But I feel like we've
Yeah.
not had time to rewatch this series because we were rewatching the
I
others.
haven't. I haven't. I haven't
Yeah,
revisited these episodes in God knows how long. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. There's a lot in these next few seasons that I don't know
yeah.
what's gonna happen, you know?
You're finding out with us, listeners. So
and I
we
think
feel like
Cyril
Beth.
is, yeah, it is. It's every time I watch, it's like for the first time. I think Cyril is shocked when they actually mention that it's a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Dr. Turner speaking to Cyril was lovely because I thought that's quite nice because at least, because if that was just my husband or whatever, he doesn't know the doctor, he wouldn't bother. But because he knows Cyril so well,
Yeah.
He does that, and he suggested like a break, change of scene for Lucille. So this is when Cyril does the
And I
opening
think
scene.
this is a mistake. I mean, we know it's a mistake. She never comes back.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. We're gonna get into it. Okay. Very interesting here.
Well, also, just let's round this off. Cyril borrowed the motorbike and sidecar that they first had, which I thought was quite poignant because
Well,
obviously it was
so
their last scene together as well.
so here's the thing. Lucille is sleeping. She's on the Valium. Cyril talks to Dr. Turner, and then I mean, other stuff happens, but like cut to, he comes into their bedroom. She's sitting on the edge of the bed and she says, "Oh, I'm getting up to go get my hair done." She's like, "Even if I come back here and go to sleep," she's like, "I have to do this for myself, make myself feel better." And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, I've got something to make you feel better," or something like that. And he hands her this paper and she opens it up and she's like, "Oh my God, wait a minute. It's tickets to Jamaica." And he said, "It's an open-ended trip. I can't go because I can't leave work. And I took the money out of our savings." And she says, "But that's what we're using to buy the house." And he's like, "Listen," he's like, "We will but get the house, but like this is really important. Like you need to go see your family, like, just take care of yourself and everything." It's really sweet. Like, and he's smiling, she's like really excited, and it's really beautiful. And then that's when but the thing is, she does have a scene before they get in the sidecar. She does have a scene with Phyllis, which absolutely had me going.
Oh
And
yeah.
Phyllis gives her this beautiful bright yellow sweater that she's knitted, which is gorgeous. This sweater is so beautiful. And when I tell you girls, now obviously I have the gift of hindsight because I know it's coming, but when I watched that scene, I felt like Phyllis was saying goodbye to Lucille for a trip, and Lucille was saying goodbye to Phyllis for like ever, basically. Like there's something about the way Lucille played it that to me felt permanent. Again, now I'm saying that because I know what's going to happen, so obviously I don't, I, you know, I
Yeah.
recognize that. But it was so heartbreaking to see them hug each other. They were just kind of like clinging in a way that was really poignant to me. And then when she's standing outside the flat with Cyril and everyone's doing the maypole business, she's like, "I just don't think I can bear like saying goodbye to everybody." And he says, "Well, we can just slip away if you want." And so then that's when they get in the sidecar. Oh,
Which I think everyone would understand as well. Can I just say about the sidecar? It's the exact same one from the
yeah.
first one.
Yeah, but also, did you guys recognize the fact that she got into it and he knelt down and something whatever, and then he says, "I love you," and she just smiles and she
Yeah,
doesn't
she
say it
sit back.
back, and I
Yeah.
thought that's a sign.
Now,
That's a
I will say
sign.
this, right? Now, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I feel like, do you think from this storyline, because not just, and I'm gonna say us, but I feel like I wasn't as harsh on Lucille as some other people.
Yes, I know
But
I was.
I feel like, do you feel like now you've rewatched it that we've been a bit too harsh on Lucille when I say we loosely? But also quite a lot of listeners and fans of the show have also been quite harsh on Lucille with this. But I just feel like she's had a bloody nervous breakdown. Like I just feel like we've been a bit harsh and I say we loosely.
No.
Oh my God.
Me trying to open up this discourse. No.
I'm like sitting here like quiet because I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm like we're having some moment of reflection. Yeah.
Because I'll tell you for why. Because she just leaves Cyril like she's not, maybe
Bye.
initially she just leaves Cyril hanging. She's not talking about like there's just no mention whatsoever of whether she's going to, even if she is going to stay, be honest and say.
Yeah, you think you should confront issues and talk about them, yeah?
Oh, I know, Bex, you're the poster child for that. You love to dig down deep, have
Yeah.
those conversations, be, whatever people want to get out of you, you're willing to give. You're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna
Do
cough
like
it
Dr.
all up.
Turner. So hang on, which one is it, Bex? Who's right? Dr. Turner when he didn't speak about it? Yeah? Or Lucille because she didn't and you think she should? Which one?
This is like a Sophie's choice.
But no, it's different. Because she's in a different country. Now I'll tell you why I think
Husband bought that bloody ticket.
well, I think I feel as if it was never, once he bought the ticket home, this was inevitable because I think she was going to go home, get comfortable. She either
Well,
had
surely
to
that's his fault then.
yeah, it is. It's Cyril's fault. No, but I just think it's like with anxiety, you can't like she's essentially avoiding the problem, and
Yeah.
it just makes it doesn't help the situation. You think in the short term it's going to help the situation, but it doesn't.
Like
It
with
makes
Dr. Turner.
no, it's different to Dr. Turner.
Oh,
How is it different, Bex?
Do you know what?
Because
I just say by the latest series, I want us to get her to admit that Dr. Turner should have bloody spoken.
no, because she can deal with it without talking about it.
Oh my God.
You're such a kook, Bex.
But I think she had to stay because she's going to go home. I just think, yeah, if she was.
Yeah, but I also
What?
think Jamaica's not the best thing for her. With her sister being pregnant, I just think that's actually going to be awful for her. They're totally
What I
glossing over
think
that.
Cyril should have done is brought her mum over.
That's actually a really good solution.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Or
But the actress wanted to leave, so
or buy a
It's never
ticket,
going to work.
or buy a ticket that's like has a return that says like, okay, like why don't you go for like a month? You know, like how Trixie did. You know what I mean? Like when she was
yeah.
taking care of, you know, or like when she, you know what I'm saying? Like it was open-ended, but it wasn't that open-ended. It was like kind of pull yourself together a little bit and then come
Yeah.
back, you know?
But
Like I
what do
think
you think, Jen? Do you think we were a bit harsh?
so I'm gonna say so I'll say this. I think that I do think we were a bit harsh in terms of all the stuff that precipitated her going, like in terms of being critical, because honestly, rewatching all the stuff that she's been through since basically they got married and she had the miscarriage and like missing her family and feeling really
Yeah.
homesick and all that kind of stuff like that and all the discrimination and racism and prejudice and everything like that. Yeah, absolutely. I can see why she had the personal evolution that she did. The thing that now again, I mean, I'll be the first to say like this, the way this episode made me look at the situation very, very differently, for sure,
Yeah.
because there was just a lot of stuff I had like blatantly forgotten, and I fully
Yeah,
admit
that's I
that.
agree. I agree. It did make me think differently.
But the only thing is that understanding and feeling a lot more compassion for her in terms of like why she left to go back to Jamaica and why she really probably needed to stay in Jamaica for a good amount of time, I still do feel that she's married to Cyril. She made a commitment to him, and once she'd had time in Jamaica to take care of herself, reset, reconnect with her family, like start to feel better and everything, like it again, I know we'll talk about it in the as we go through the episodes and all that, but like there's a lot of time where he's just really left hanging and he doesn't know what's going on and he's really out of the loop and he's like, "Are you coming back? Are you coming back? Like I'm married to you, you're
Yeah,
my wife,
I
like
think
what's going on?" So I think all the way up to now, yes, I can
yeah.
definitely own that we were too harsh. Do I think some of that harshness will be deserved down the road? I'm open to that.
I think we were a bit too harsh, but I also feel like it's not like there was anyone to blame. It was this really crap situation. And I think maybe Louisa, who the hell's Louisa? Lucille got a bit more of the brunt than she should have from us, is what I'm thinking. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Sure,
I think it's an
sure.
impossible. It is a social
I could
structure.
be
It's a horrible thing.
I could be open to that. Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The
And I'm talking
only
about you
thing
listeners too as well. I've seen your comments.
the only thing I'll
So,
say is that I don't like the idea of a partner being left in the dark when they're still trying. You know what I mean? And one
Yeah.
partner, like to me, when one partner just kind of like just checks out and you
Although,
know,
can I
like
just say, I do like the idea of going to Jamaica for a big long bit of time right now. It just seems quite nice.
you're like, I would love
Yeah.
to just live in Jamaica
Just
for
like my
however
COVID
long.
holiday. Just leave me. Right. Should we do heroes or zeros, ladies?
can
Heroes
I
and
just
zeros.
put a point out there?
Oh, sorry.
If Lucille, so the miscarriage aside, because obviously she was married to Cyril at that point, but with all the racism and the Enoch Powell speech, do you think she would have felt so homesick if she'd still been living in an artist's house when that had happened, because she would have still been felt more of the community?
Yeah, I think she was already suffering. She had all that issues with her hairdressing and stuff. It's always been going on. It's just now society's getting a bit more emboldened. I don't think it's ever been not an issue for her. I think it's been an issue since the second she landed on British soil. Bearing in mind she was in a much more white place before as well, wasn't she, when she was doing her training?
Yeah, that is true.
Well, I mean, there were storylines with her where she was struggling with discrimination well before she and Cyril were
Yeah,
together,
exactly. That's what I'm
and you
saying.
know, and we
Like,
talked
so
about that.
yeah, I think it's
Yeah, I
just
mean
always been there.
that would be something that definitely, in terms of like, yeah, would really impact my interest in wanting to stay somewhere.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah,
I'm fully there for that. I
yeah,
definitely get that that would be really hard, and I also completely recognize that there's no way I've ever experienced anything like that in terms of that. So I can
yeah.
only imagine how hard that would be. Yeah.
Shall we do heroes and zeros?
Yes.
Bex?
I mm, Oh, before we do Heroes and Zeros, we need to shout out Violet, who's at the Lady Haberdashers Forum.
Oh, I didn't even see
Got,
Violet this week. Oh,
No,
I
she
no,
wish.
wasn't
because
in
she
it.
wasn't in it. She's gone to Jersey. Fred had to drop her at the railway station because she's gone on holiday with the Lady Haberdashers Forum. What a society to go on holiday with.
Oh,
I know,
Anyway,
it just sounds lovely.
I would love it.
To be honest, I do struggle this week with Heroes and Zeros.
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
Is anyone else ready?
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, my hero this week is going to be, there's two very clear, do you know what? I'm going to do Miss Higgins for telling Dr. Turner to shut up. Just made me howl.
That's your hero. Okay.
Yeah, but I've got more heroes if needs be. And then I've got very serious zero, but I'm just going to say cancer because it's bloody awful. I've got
Yeah.
quite a racist one
Oh.
as well, which is Jamaica. I don't mean it to be racist. It's just mean the fact that she lives there in a completely different place from here, and then it's happened. But yeah,
Wait, when you say
I don't hate
racism
Jamaica.
in
It's just the
Jamaica,
way. I mean, just me.
oh, the
I'm
way
like,
she's
oh,
treated
Jamaica,
because
and it
she
makes me
is.
sound racist. Yeah, but I'm not racist. What I'm saying is, I think it's all like
I
the
think
fact that
what
she's
she's
gone to
saying is she
Jamaica.
didn't want it to go back to Jamaica.
Yeah, I loved her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I wish Lucille hadn't left either, actually. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I really had a lot of hope for their marriage and like their relationship and everything. I was really rooting for them. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll go. I'm gonna give I'm gonna give my zero to Sister Monica Joan for
Perfect.
being just like such a pill and and I
That was my
really
other zero.
yeah, and I really loved when she won that marmalade back. I just thought, yes,
Yeah.
that to me, I don't believe this, like this isn't how my belief system works, but that to me was God being like, bam, like
Yeah.
you got it, after you were so rude about that marmalade. So, yeah, she's my zero. And then my hero I am going to, oh man, how do I want to say this? I'll try to say this thing. Okay, so my hero, I want to give it to like the Lucille storyline characters because Lucille herself deserves a credit for recognizing what she's gone through and trying to deal with it when she goes to Dr. Turner. I think the way that I can't remember her name,
Wallace.
Wallace and Phyllis and Cyril and Dr. Turner really rally around her to try to help her is really beautiful. And I think Cyril really, really was trying so hard to give her what she needed and trying to intuit what she needed and try to think about what would help her. And I think he was really doing it, out of a sense of her best interest or what he hoped was her best interest. And so they're kind of like co-heroes for me this week.
Yeah, love it.
I've got it now. My hero, just to piggyback off Jen's, is Phyllis.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Because Phyllis was totally in tune with what Lucille was going through.
Yeah.
And I just thought of all the things to send her off with, like that cardigan. It was just like she was giving her a hug.
It was, but also very
And I just
impractical
thought,
for Jamaican summers. Carry on.
yeah, that is true. But it might get chilly at night.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then my zero is going to be the way Lilian Reynolds spoke to Sister Julienne, because I really do know she was going through a hard time, but I just felt it was very harsh.
Can I also do a shout out for another hero to Sister Julienne?
Yeah. Oh, Sister
And
Julienne.
Dr. Turner, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also for Ronnie Reynolds for reminding me of my granddad.
I thought there
Anyway.
were more heroes in this episode.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, I agree. A lot of heroes in this episode.
A lot of heroes and mojo. Right, on that note, thank you so much for listening. What a heavy episode, but amazing
A lot,
episode.
yeah.
And we will see you next week for Series 12, Episode 3. Thank you so much for listening. Follow us on social media. Send us your questions. Send us all your stuff. We've got a load of good stuff coming up for the next listener special as well, because we've got so many good things. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.